to say something really controversial here for a lot of board members. We really feel like at board meetings, it's an opportunity for the membership to come and express themselves. And sometimes they really want to express themselves during the whole meeting on every single topic. But I'll say a board meeting is a meeting of the board. It is for the board to conduct the business for the corporation and to make those decisions, not for the membership to give input on all said decisions. Okay. The members have a meeting called the annual meeting. That happens annually for the members to come. Or this happens during the homeowner forum or member forum, this beginning or end of the meeting, that's when they get to comment. But board meetings is the only time you guys get to conduct business. This is the only time as a board you get to do your business and run the corporation that you need to run. So those kinds of things, you need to look at that as, I am a board member. I am responsible for running, protecting, enhancing the value of a multi-million-dollar corporation. And this meeting is where I make those decisions. And you have to look at it with that eye. So it is not social hour. It is a corporate board meeting. And it's also, it's not membership voice their opinion on all topics out. It is a board meeting, should be treated as such. Study sessions, these are things that I see board members not necessarily using effectively or not doing. When you have a major project, an item that should be reviewed and discussed by the board, but you don't want to have a 4-hour board meeting talking about this item, you can do what's called a study session. And a study session is a meeting that has a purpose of reviewing an item, but not for making a decision. It might be where the board is gathering information from a contractor or a series of contractors about a particular large-scale project. It might be where you go through the budget, a study session where the board gets an update on the budget from the finance committee or from management, where you're just going through and having kind of a working session on making these things, but you're not adopting a final session, a budget. So these kinds of things, and you don't need a quorum of the board because it's not a meeting. You also do not necessarily need to take minutes and those kinds of things because you're not making a decision. So these kinds of sessions can be really effective if you have a major project coming up, something that you want to do that can be effective for people to get information. Membership can come listen. The president should really set the rules about how membership gets to interact during those meetings. But these kinds of meetings can be helpful to have kind of the conversations in so that the board meeting can really focus on business and making those decisions. So if you're a community that is struggling with having a lot of board meetings or having really long board meetings or getting people on the board, I would think about doing some of these study sessions if you have some of these bigger issues going on that you want to think about doing. Executive sessions. These are usually very limited in scope. These are where you're talking about legal issues related to insurance or legal issues related to a potential lawsuit. It is also where you can talk about contracts, disciplinary hearings, personnel issues. So if you have on-site staff or staff that's employed by the association, you have those conversations, payment plans, collection kind of issues. There are some things that are sensitive and need to be discussed in executive session. And then also things like foreclosures, those kinds of things where you've got a collection action that's gone to the point where you're foreclosing. So these kinds of executive sessions, private matters need to be kept private. And so these are things that a member has a right to privacy, that you would have an executive session and you'd be able to have this conversation where it's a private conversation where the board members can discuss openly about, instead of saying account number 123 has this issue, we can have the conversation about Susie down the street has this painted her house purple without approval and we need to take some enforcement action. It's where you can have those kinds of conversations. So as a board, if you find yourself needing or wanting to bring up an item during executive session or that you feel like might involve someone's privacy or action on that, you would think about moving that to executive session. Executive session, you could just say, let's have this at the end of the meeting, and you keep minutes of those.
we do appreciate you here at HOA Strategies, the ability we have to work with each of you. So thank you for attending today.